I think there's one thing that your ab training is missing. And when I tell you what that thing is, you're going to be like, oh yeah, obviously. It's quite simple. It's resistance. What most people's core training looks like is low weight, high reps. And that is because people have this idea that lots of repetitions mean you are going to be more toned, which isn't true. Most people's ab routines look a little bit like this. They do a crunch, bicycle twist, and a plank, which are all pretty decent exercises. There is one glaring issue. How do you make them more challenging as you get better at them? The abs are just like any other muscle in the body. They're not special. They have the same requirements as all other muscles. That's why if you want to build strength, you have to use weight. And if you want to build muscle, you need to take them pretty close to failure regularly. So why don't we break down the anatomy of the abs? Bear with me, I'm not Neil Buchanan.
What you need is one of these.
The six-pack. And these muscles are responsible for crunching or spinal flexion. And then you have muscles along the side here, which are obliques, and they're responsible for side bends and rotations. And then you have a deeper muscle underneath all of this called the transverse abdominis, like a corset. And with our ab diagram, what we want to do is build a program that's going to target all of those different movements in a way that is scalable to add strength and also muscle mass. The one that most people are probably here for, which is the six-pack. The six-pack is responsible for spinal flexion, rounding of the back. My two favorite ones for that are really retro. The first is a weighted crunch. Unbeatable exercise, stood the test of time, legendary. And another favorite of mine is a candlestick, obliques, which I think are probably one of the most undertrained parts of the body. If you're doing side bends like this, they are massively going to improve how strong your core is. But I really like the top-down cable rotation variation. If you are doing a load of heavy barbell work, you're going to go loads of anti-rotational exercises, load of isometric contraction, and therefore you're probably going to have ticked that one off the board. Make sure you're doing your heavy compound lifts for good abs. All of these exercises are loaded exercises except for the candlestick. And that means you can increase the amount of load that you're using over time and continue to make progress. A strong core doesn't necessarily mean that you have visible abs. That is much more an expression of how much body fat you're holding. And that's a whole different topic. And it doesn't matter how many crunches you do, or candlesticks you do, or deadlifts you do. If you don't have low enough body fat, you won't have visible abs. And I guess what people might be asking is, why would you bother to have a strong core? Well, you are less likely to have back injury. People will probably think that you look better. If you are interested in improving your core strength and following a similar online routine, I've got one. This link is in the bio, the description. You know what I meant. You get access to me and we can have a chat about the best ways to make you stronger, fitter, faster, and ultimately feel better.